Louisville resident Andrea Knebel is a 37-year-old mother of two boys aged 6 and 8. On August 13th of 2019, she was reported at 1 a.m. walking in the 4000 block of Fincastle Road in Louisville's Audubon Park, and according to witnesses, she was asking around for a ride. Andrea had been having difficulties around the time she disappeared. She had recently been laid off from her job with an insurance company. Adding to her woes was the loss of her vehicle, which was totaled in a hit-and-run accident. This is why she was asking around for a ride. Knebel lived at her mother's house, along with Knebel's sister Sarah and Sarah's boyfriend, Ethan Bates. Andrea's mother was not living there at the time, as the house was undergoing some renovations. Earlier in the evening, according to private investigator Tracy Leonard, Andrea had been at a local McDonald's with Ethan and a nephew. They claimed they dropped her off at a medical center because of a supposed facial infection. Later, Knebel left the hospital, taking a lift back to her mother's house where she arrived at 11:34. At around 12:15 a.m., Knebel walked to her sister Erin's house. Evidently an argument ensued, and Knebel walked back to her mother's house, arriving at 1:45 a.m. There may have been an altercation at home as well, as her own father stated that she had experienced some rejection there after arriving, and was subsequently locked out of the house. Police have stated that they have not received any information that would indicate that either Sarah or Ethan were involved in any way. However, when asked if Ethan Bates had been interviewed regarding Andrea's disappearance, the police would not comment. Phone records indicate that she made phone calls between 1:30 and 2 a.m., and that her phone was still active at her home at 6:31, according to the Courier-Journal. Curiously, when police searched the home, the phone was not there. Police want to talk with the Lyft driver who took Knebel from the hospital to her home. They have requested interviews with him on several occasions, but he refuses to meet with the investigators. According to investigators, Knebel's mother, father, sisters, and Sarah's boyfriend Ethan have all cooperated with authorities and have been out searching for Andrea themselves. They frequent spots she was known to hang out, and they've placed missing person flyers around Louisville and southern Indiana. The fathers of the two boys have been cleared of any wrongdoing and are not suspects. Private investigator Leonard, who is working with the local police department, said, "We are looking at a couple of different avenues and checking leads out daily. We have no indication at this point that leads us to believe that there is any foul play. But we are still very early in our investigation. We're just going to continue to look at what facts we discover." In a strange twist to this case, Knebel belonged to the group Missing in America, and she is the first member of this group to go missing themselves. Missing in America is dedicated to finding missing adults and children. In October of 2019, the family of Andrea Knebel upped the reward for information as to her whereabouts to $5,000. Mike Knebel said to the Courier-Journal, "I'm ready to do anything if we need to do more. My daughter might have just walked away on purpose. We don't know. We've had so many false leads." On January 18th of 2020, a candlelight prayer vigil for Andrea was held at St. Stephen Martyr Church in Louisville. On November the 26th of 2019 in Idaho, just 2 days before Thanksgiving, members of the extended family of Lori Daybell reported her son Joshua Vallow and her daughter Tylee Ryan missing. Joshua, who was 7, and Tylee, who was 17, had not been seen by the family since September. This alarmed family members, especially given the fact that Joshua had special needs as he was on the autism spectrum. The children's mother, Lori Daybell, had recently married a man named Chad. When police conducted their welfare check, the couple told them that Joshua was with a family friend in Arizona. The police checked this out and discovered it was not true. When they came back the next day with a search warrant, Chad and Lori had disappeared. Police discovered that Joshua had actually left his elementary school one day in September and had not been seen since. His sister Tylee disappeared around the same time, but nobody reported them missing. In their investigation, police discovered that Chad Daybell had married Lori just 2 weeks after the death of his previous wife, Tammy Daybell. Initially, Tammy's death was not deemed suspicious, as it was believed she had died of natural causes. In December of 2019, police exhumed Tammy's body to conduct a thorough autopsy. Results of the autopsy are expected to take a few more weeks as of the posting of this video. Police reported that at the scene of Tammy's death, Chad Daybell did not behave suspiciously at all, and in fact, he behaved as any normal person would, given the circumstances, which is why police had no suspicions of foul play. Tammy had made a report to police on October the 9th that as she was arriving home, a man wearing a mask approached her and began firing an empty paint gun at her. She asked what he was doing, but he continued firing without responding. Tammy called for Chad, at which point the man took off. As police investigated the missing children's case, they began to note several mysterious deaths surrounding Chad and Lori Daybell other than Tammy. In February of 2019, Lori's ex-husband Charles Vallow told a judge in divorce court that Lori claimed to be a deity who was preparing the world for the return of Jesus. In July, Vallow had arrived to pick up Joshua from Lori's house when he was shot to death in an apparent altercation with Lori's brother, Alex Cox. Alex supposedly shot Charles in self-defense. Mysteriously, Alex Cox died on December 12th, with no cause of death released to the public. Tylee's father, Joseph Ryan, supposedly died of a heart attack in 2018. It is now known that a day after Joshua was last seen, Lori Vallow visited the school that Joshua attended and unenrolled him. Since the beginning of the investigation, Chad and Tammy Daybell have lied about the location of their children and have gone on the run. They have not cooperated with authorities in the least, which only fuels speculation of their involvement. It appears that the Daybells entertained some strange cult-like beliefs. When Charles divorced Lori, he told the court that she believed herself to be a sort of god, preparing the way for Christ's return in 2020. He reported that she threatened to kill him if he got in her way. He sought a protection order thereafter. Chad Daybell had written several books dealing with religion, prophecy, and end-time events. His views loosely revolve around the teachings of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, or the Mormons. Lori reportedly believes she's lived several past lives and that she has lived on different planets. Supposedly, Chad and Lori belong to a dangerous and radical religious cult that fosters these beliefs. Lori believes she is the eternal bride of the Mormon prophet Moroni. During this ongoing investigation, another family member named Brandon Boudreau has information to offer. Brandon was married to Lori Daybell's niece, Melanie, until the summer of 2019, when Melanie unexpectedly asked for a divorce. This shocked Brandon, as he thought that they were happily married. Melanie had joined the same dangerous cult that Lori and Chad followed. On October 2nd of 2019, Brandon was just arriving home when someone attempted to shoot him. He saw a Jeep pull up, and someone poked a gun with a silencer out of the window. He heard a shot ring out, and his own window was shattered. That car was later identified as belonging to Charles Vallow, who had died 3 months earlier.